What's up, Time Attack fans, and welcome back to Marble Time Attack Season 4. Here we have Race 2 today at the Garden Gateway. It was the season opening track last season, so these marbles have some familiarity with the track, but there are a few changes that we'll go over when we look at kind of the track map. You can see the current standings, and then today's running order, which will be Circus, Slimeball, Flare, Cyclone, Slenderman, Inferno, Tree Frog, Supernova. So you can see the start begins as it did last time, but there's a bit more of a straightaway in this middle section, and then a straight 180 into that chute at the bottom. So a lot more high speeds on this track than last year. It was a bit more of a methodical design. See the weather for today, sunny and 71 degrees. And that's my kind of weather. 82 is nice that we had at Water's Edge, but this is pristine conditions as Circus kicks things off. That last marble trailing a bit in the back. The first two really lockstep with one another, and the opening time of the day is a 23:79, and you see that orange time, as we mentioned in race 1, really just a cosmetic thing, doesn't mean anything, but it denotes who is the fastest run of the day. So Circus sets the opening time, and that means Slimeball is our second runner. He had the fastest time in qualifying the first time. That first marble way out in front of the others, and it's once again a new improvement on the fastest individual time, and it's an improvement on the fastest overall time at 22:99. So Slimeball really having some good pace throughout the first two qualifying sessions of the season. We'll see what Flare can do, who finished second in qualifying in Water's Edge in race 1, and a lot of separation once again, similar to what Slimeball had in his run. First one across, second and third come as well, and it's a 22:64, which is an improvement over Slimeball. So 3 consecutive improvements to begin the day here at Garden Gateway. It was back to, really got close at the end, but a nice job overall for Flare, who takes the top spot for now. Now Cyclone, who was last place at the start, and that's more trouble, and it looks like Cyclone's only going to have 2 finish this race. That last one gets hung up on one of the turns, and that is a rough DNF. 4th place, and probably not going to get him through, you would imagine, with that time. See the fan kind of stunned right there. It's been a rough go for Cyclone to start this season off. So that's 4 runs done to start the day, and you can see a pretty wide array of times. You got one in the 22s, one in the 26s. These back 4, starting with Slenderman, going to try and play somewhere in between, as the youngest marble in competitions off and running, those back 2 staying together, the first one out in front and across the line. It is another improvement on the top time. Slenderman, who I believe was a finalist at Garden Gateway last season, showing that even with some minor changes to the track, he's still got it in his bag. Now it's Inferno, defending champion, missed the cut by 1/100th of a second at Water's Edge. This time, trying to improve on that, and it's 4th place, which at this point does guarantee him moving on to the knockout stage. So better for Inferno, not an elite time, but still good enough to get him through to the knockout stage with 2 runners to go. And you'd imagine that Cyclone at this point probably not going to get through. We haven't seen any other DNFs, and nobody's really even been close to the 26-second mark. And here's Tree Frog, one of the best qualifiers in league history, getting it going here, but that back marble bringing up the rear and quite slow around the bend. The first 2 come across pretty quick, and that last one really bringing up the rear. The overall time is 5th place, so it's going to be good enough with 23:69. Those first 2 just went super fast. See, the back one was almost 2 seconds behind the second one, but still able to get the job done. So Supernova, our last one in qualifying stage, and those front 2 once again out into the distance. The back one bringing up the rear. It needs to be better than 7th place to get him through, and it's 5th. So Supernova will qualify, and Circus and Cyclone will miss the cut. Right there, you see Tree Frog got it by 1/10 of a second. He made it in by 1/100th, and now 1/10. So fine margins for Tree Frog, who doesn't have the qualifying pace he did last year, but it's been good enough to earn him the 6th seed in back-to-back races. Another interesting thing, Flare has earned the number 2 seed in back-to-back races, but now bringing us to the knockout stage. Racing for points, winner moves on, and right now Inferno's got in a good enough position with the 6-3-2 if it holds, and it will. 6 points for first, 3 points for 4th, and 2 points for 5th place. Result in an 11-10 win over Supernova to kick things off. So Inferno, first appearance in the knockout stage this season, and gets a win in his first run. Now Slimeball and Tree Frog, another one of these great rivalries in our sport, the Season 2 championship. Tree Frog made a nice pass on the open track. Slimeball trying to fight it back, but he's not going to have the juice And Tree Frog once again, as the 6th seed, pulls off the upset in the first round and moves on to face Flare for the second consecutive race in the semifinal. That rivalry continues to get new stories written just about every race, you think. As the Tree Frog fans happy with the performance of their marble in the knockout stage. It was really the opposite for Tree Frog last year, where he had really good pace in qualifying but just could not put it together in the knockouts. This year, the qualifying pace hasn't been there quite yet, but the knockout performance has. So moving on to the semifinals, Slenderman versus Inferno. And it's Slenderman who gets the jump temporarily. But here come the Infernos. 2 get by 1. And it's going to be a 6, a 4, and a 3. And a dominant 13-8 win for Inferno. Watch these middle 2 Infernos as they come around this turn right here. A lot of congestion. And they just find their way past the struggling Slenderman marbles. And the 1 seed drops out early. Inferno onto the championship round, looking to punch his ticket back to the playoffs. But first, Flare versus Tree Frog, the ultimate rivalry in Time Attack. Flare's got him in a good enough position. If this holds, he'll be through, and it is going to hold. So we'll have a rematch of the Season 3 championship between Inferno and Flare in the final elimination round here at Garden Gateway. If you think back to that championship, Flare took the first 2 and was up 2-0, looking pretty keen to win his first ever Time Attack championship, and then Inferno rattled off 4 consecutive wins to end up winning the series 4-2. So Flare's going to have revenge on his mind. The winner of this one guaranteed a playoff spot, and it is going to be very interesting to see the career races won. Inferno just won, like Slimeball, but like Slimeball, he's also won a championship. So it's Flare at the back currently. The Infernos do a nice job to get themselves in good position and takes a 3-2 advantage off the jump. And now he's got the one in the back, and they're going to have to try and find a way to get through. But the 2 Flares are sandwiched right in the middle in second and third place in this race, and we're back down to an even 2-2 now. Critical break point in this race. Flare is at the back, and it doesn't look like he's going to have anything. Not many passes happening in the elimination stage. These marbles have run this course multiple times on this day now, and they're kind of used to what it takes. This Inferno is at the back. He's not going to have any plays. The first 2 marbles are off into the distance, and we'll go down to another one-on-one final. Flare lost this exact scenario against Slimeball in race 1. Now he's got the lead on Inferno, but Inferno is hounding him right in the back. Now there's virtually no separation between them. Now a bit of daylight, and Flare comes across the line and wins it at Garden Gateway. He is into the playoffs, and a much better season for him already than he put up back last year. So Flare and Slimeball, your first 2 winners of the season. And Inferno, tough break for him. He's going to have to keep searching, as you see the Flare and Inferno fans right next to each other in the stands. That's a look at your standings from this event. Tiebreakers on qualifying times. In the overall standings, it's Flare, Slimeball, Tree Frog, and Inferno, the top 4. Thanks so much for watching Garden Gateway this season. We hope to see you back next week when we go to the Hairpin Highway.